Welcome once again to Scenes from the Screen, where we talk about all types of films. Obscure, forgotten, prestigious, rotten, big screen and small, we cover it all. Who knows, you might discover a new gem or be reintroduced to an old favorite. My name is Sean, and I'll be your host. I am back with my favorite guest and favorite person in the world, Hollie.
Hello, everyone.
Hello again to you. This week we have decided to do, it's kind of going to be kind of like a little different in a way. Yes, we are doing a movie. We're doing Interview with a Vampire from 1994 with Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt. But we're also going to talk about the television show because we do watch Interview with a Vampire, which is now Vampire Lestat.
Right. Both are awesome.
Yes, both are awesome. So, I mean, now I haven't seen the movie since it came out at the theater in 1994. How about you? I don't know if you've seen it since then.
Maybe once or twice since then because of all the people in it.
Right, and it was, and looking at it now, and I have the same feelings I basically did before. I mean, I think it's very well done. Anne Rice wrote the screenplay. I didn't really know that she had done that.
I didn't know she wrote the screenplay.
Yeah, she wrote the screenplay, and I forgot Neil Jordan directed it. He was on a hot streak there. That was sandwiched right in between A Crying Game and Michael Collins, I believe. And remember, the big controversy was Tom Cruise as Lestat.
Right.
Which
he actually did really well. I read the books.
I did too.
And I think I read the book before I saw the movie.
I definitely did.
And I was very disappointed. I thought Brad Pitt would have been the better Lestat because of his features, because Lestat was blonde. Just his description in the book. And I was like, there's no way Tom Cruise can pull that off. But he was really good as Lestat.
He actually was really good. I had my doubts too, because I'm not one of those people who every movie that comes along, like Michael Keaton as Batman. Oh, there's an uproar over that. And that was before the internet. Can't imagine what that would be like now. But yeah, I mean, Tom Cruise, Lestat, but he did a really good job. And watching it again, except for the accent, obviously. I mean,
neither one of them had an accent that was believable.
No, they didn't. But I mean, you look at it to get it made, and for Tom Cruise actually wanting to make that,
right?
And being Lestat.
If you think about the book too, those characters are not typical for Brad Pitt and Tom Cruise to play, because there's a lot of homoerotica in it.
Right. An underlying in the books more than
in the books more than in the movie. But I was trying to watch the movie to see if they did show any of that, because back when I would have watched it, I probably wouldn't have noticed that they were also lovers.
No, well, the movie really doesn't.
It doesn't get into that, but if you see sometimes how close they get and how they they do bring that.
A little bit,
which I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. It was because watching the show is obviously we're going to get onto that a little bit later, but yes, I was surprised they went kind of as far as they did for the time, yes. And it was a pretty faithful adaptation, as I can recall. Now I know that I remember in the end, obviously, as Christian Slater. Well, I'm sorry, at the beginning and the end, Christian Slater as Malloy, who's the interviewer. And it was supposed to be River Phoenix, but River Phoenix had died. And then I think Christian Slater did it free of charge in his honor, something like that. So Malloy is not that big of a character.
Not in the
at least movie. In the first book and the second book. Right. I think a little bit later in the book series, that's probably after I gave up on it, which I think was I stopped with the beginning of Tale of the Body Thief, which was the fourth one.
Right. I did too. I don't think I finished all of Queen of the Damned.
I did finish that one.
I might have.
But the movie, and I was like I said, I was really shocked at. But my feeling is I love Tom Cruise. I think, and I wish he would do more things like this. Expand his horizons a little bit. I get tired of seeing him in Mission Impossible 27. I know he does it to kind of prove a point. No, he's still vigorous at his age, and I get it, man. But he's played some of the most memorable characters. And as to why he hasn't won an Oscar. I mean,
didn't he win for Born on 4th?
No, he didn't. Nope. Yeah, and I mean, he was nominated for that. He should have been nominated for Rain Man I think, honestly, over Dustin Hoffman. You watch it again, he's the stronger role.
Right. It's easier to play the Dustin Hoffman character than it is to play the straight.
Exactly. But yeah, I mean, like I said, he's fantastic. I was watching it again. I was really disappointed in Brad Pitt. And maybe it's just the character, but he's very flat in this.
Yeah, he didn't, Louis wasn't as, I don't know, Louis, I think if we wouldn't have watched the TV series, because the actor who plays Louis in the TV series is we enjoy him. So, in the back of our minds, I think maybe that the way
I probably
he portrays
do. It's a little
Louis,
distorted from the series.
it's different than Brad Pitt because Louis really, I mean, he was very depressed most of his life. He wanted to die, and then so he was always flat and depressed. And in the book, Louis was kind of flat and depressed. I mean, he was a depressed character,
right.
And he was never really. The only time he enjoyed himself is when he was with Lestat, really.
Yeah. And like I said, it was good. It was a serviceable movie. And it was some of the special effects for that time were amazing. I mean, you know, I was thinking about some of the, towards the end, when Louis kind of murders all the other vampires and he cuts Stephen Ray's character, Santiago, in half. I mean, that was great. Like that.
I think Kirsten Dunst, when she tries to cut her hair and then her hair grows back, I thought that was really cool.
That was
cool scene.
Yeah, and her fangs grew. Yeah. And the only part I noticed, which was a little, and I get it, it's very difficult to do even at that time. But when Louis met Santiago for the first time, and they're in that little tunnel, and Santiago goes to dance on the tunnel, it dances on the ceiling basically, right. And you could see it shift a little bit. You could see the tilt of it. So that kind of took me out of it. Right. But otherwise, I thought it was. I mean, for the time and for what it was a really well done adaptation.
Right. It was really good. Like I said, I read the book first, and I was really big into Anne Rice for a very long time and was very invested in those characters. Like Lestat was such a cool character to read. And then, like I said, when Tom Cruise was playing, I was like, oh my God, that's not Lestat. And he pulled it off. He carried it very well.
He did. Yeah. I mean, now obviously when we start to talk about the show, touch upon that a little bit, it's going to be a little bit different, but yeah, he really did a fantastic job.
So much better than and this bothers me too. They did the Interview with a Vampire, and then someone did Queen of the Damned. Why didn't they do
The Vampire Lestat, which is to me the best book.
That's the best story.
It is. It is the best story.
Lestat. And that's what Queen of the Damned had a little bit in it. I do remember vaguely the beginning of it. I know I just really hated that movie. And the guy who played Lestat was just not the caliber of anyone that should play a character like Lestat.
Right. I didn't see Queen of the Damned because I didn't love the book.
I just don't understand why you wouldn't do the most interesting book. And maybe she didn't let anyone. Maybe,
Yeah, but the first movie did well. I mean, Interview with a Vampire did very well at the box office. Yeah. It was actually pretty well critically received. It wasn't this is a classic for all time.
But I think money-wise, it had to make a lot of money.
It did make a lot of money.
Tom Cruise, Brad Pitt.
I want to say where I read $60 million budget, and it made like 200-some million at the time. Which is, at the time,
that's Antonio Banderas, Christian Slater, Kirsten Dunst,
Stephen Ray,
and then I wouldn't necessarily call it a cameo, but a character that we didn't actress that we didn't know was in it was Thandie Newton, who I really like, but you're not so much.
I'm not that big of a fan of Thandie Newton.
Yeah. She was cool to see in it.
I don't actively dislike her. I won't watch anything she's in, but it's it's not about to seek out Thandie Newton films.
No, I think I like her.
I don't even know that's how her name's pronounced. I think it's a little bit different.
Thandie?
Yeah, Thandie. Okay. But then maybe they call her I don't know. But
she used to be just Thandie.
Yes.
Now she's Thandie.
Right. But yeah, like I said, I would highly recommend going back and watching Interview with a Vampire if you haven't seen it.
It holds up. It's not like the best horror movie. I mean, you have to remember there's horror, but it's not like complete horror.
It's more of a gothic type of horror.
But it does hold up fairly well. I was surprised. I was afraid I would be disappointed watching it again now with,
Same. Yeah. After we've seen the show, I thought, okay. And again, it's tough to compare the two. And we'll go into the show now so the show debuted in 2022. Stars, let's see, Sam Reed as Lestat, and I believe, is it Jacob Anderson?
I believe that's his name.
As Louis. He was Grey Worm in Game of Thrones. So we already knew him coming in. Obviously, Daniel Malloy's character was changed a little bit for this. He's not as young. He is kind of an older investigative reporter. He's played by Eric Bogosian, who always reminded me, and we just talked about this not too long ago, reminded me of Anthony Bourdain. Why they never put Eric Bogosian in an Anthony Bourdain movie is his biopic. I'll never know. But anyway.
And the actor who plays Armand, I love him. I don't know how to. It's Assad Zaman.
I don't know how to pronounce his name correctly.
But I really like him as Armand.
I do too. I think the casting for the show
is phenomenal.
It is phenomenal. And here was something I was thinking about too. So I mean, I can't say it does a faithful adaptation of the book because they do change Louis' character quite a bit. Which is good because, again, you mentioned the fact that he was morose pretty much in the novel, and he's pretty vibrant character before he becomes a vampire in this. I mean, you're all gloom and doom totally, but
he's the reason he does struggle is not because his wife and child died. He struggles because he's gay in Louisiana at that time,
and a black man,
trying to have a business, and he's kind of a criminal, but he's a really cool character. And Jacob Anderson, the Southern accent he does is just it just keeps you there.
It is, and he's British,
yes,
isn't that correct? And how come everyone from overseas can do a better American accent than some Americans could do?
I don't know.
That baffles me, because they're all great at it. I've only seen a few people who could pull off a really good English accent that were American.
Sam Reed is Australian, the guy who plays Lestat.
Oh, right, Australia.
So he does the French accent. I read about him a little bit, and some people said that he does a French accent. It comes and goes. It's people who really understand that French, but then they said that character could do that because
he's lived so many places.
And he's lived so long that he might have lost some parts of it. So
and he's just adapting so that's a good explanation for it too.
I wish this actor would do so much more. I need to see Jacob Anderson and Sam Reed in more things. I just love them.
Yeah, I mean, I'd watch them read like the back of a salad dressing bottle because their chemistry is good.
They're charismatic.
The whole cast is extremely well done.
The little girl who played Claudia, I loved her too.
Well, she is not back, but the actress is, if you've noticed. So I want to see kind of what they do with that. That's an interesting take. So the first 2 seasons were Interview with a Vampire.
Pretty much.
And now this season is Interview with a Vampire, the Vampire Lestat. So it does focus more on, and I know Louis wasn't in the second book as much, Vampire Lestat, barely. I mean, they might have mentioned him.
I think they just barely mentioned him because Vampire Lestat, the book, was about how Lestat became a vampire. It was his
journey.
Now, what's the word they say when he talked a lot about his maker. His maker and his maker's maker. Like it really talked about the
history and the
lineage of the vampires, which I really thought was very cool. And we're getting a little bit of that, but not a lot.
Well, you have to save some stuff, which
I thought this was the last season.
It might be. I don't know. I mean, I hope not, but I mean, I hope there's more. You can do more with it. They can go. Oh. So you look at it this way. I mean, the show that we really love, The Leftovers, on HBO, the first season was the book. Because I read the book even before the TV show was planned. I just thought it was a cool premise. And then after that first season, where was it going to go? Right. But it actually got better.
I did like the second season.
And even the third was really well. Second season was probably my favorite, but the third was good. So anyway.
Back to Vampire Lestat and Interview with Vampire.
I digress a little bit because but one thing I did want to mention about this is that, so AMC is doing this. And I was a little reluctant to even think about how good it was going to be because they kind of dropped the ball with Preacher.
Yes, they serious because that I did read.
Yes,
so they really dropped a lot.
And I did too. And I showed it to you. I said, "Oh, this is what got me back into comics after a decade or so away."
Great graphic novel.
Yes, it was an amazing tale and
so bloody and gross.
They restrained on AMC. Well, Interview with a Vampire does not.
No, not at all.
And in fact, it goes further.
Way farther.
And maybe that's to make up for, we fucked up with Preacher. We better do, it justice for Interview with a Vampire because it is a lot bloodier than you would think.
The story of Vampire Lestat is just a cool story because because of the book, Interview with a Vampire, that the Eric Bogosian
Daniel Malloy
wrote. People actually believe in vampires, kind of not everyone, but there's a subset of society that really believes in vampires, and he's out. That's the best way you can say it.
Yes.
He's an out vampire. He plays one in his rock band, but at the same time, he doesn't hide that he's one. So he's just being himself.
Some people don't believe it.
Right. Some people don't believe it. They believe it's a show, and other people think he's a real vampire. So it's a really cool. And how they talk about there's vampires everywhere, you just don't know them. All the little mini groups of vampires that they come into contact with, which is super cool.
Yeah, and I also like what they did with Daniel Malloy's character again, Eric Bogosian, because in the book he's a younger interviewer, but this is actually when Interview with the Vampire, the TV show starts. That's actually his second time speaking with him. Remember, he spoke with him back in the 1970s in San Fran, which is Interview with a Vampire, the book.
Right.
So he's kind of going over it. He's did I not remember things correctly? Did I do it? So he's actually like another interview, and that was
a neat connection that they made. It's almost like they wanted to keep the history of the true movie, of the first movie in the book, by saying he talked to them at that time, and then brought it to the very modern age.
Right.
Because it's not the present time in the TV show is now, or even slightly in the future. It's not in the 80s.
No.
Which is really cool, because like they talked about like money and cryptocurrency and Dubai and like all those things, and keep it really, timely and right now.
Yeah. I mean, it's, because Armand is wealthy. So he has this penthouse that has the glass that
That's
obviously the sun does. Right. The sun doesn't come through, so he can see everything.
But Armand, I thought he was supposed to be able to walk in the sun.
Yeah, I honestly can't remember whether
I thought it was Armand was the only vampire that could walk in the sun, or was that just the queen? I don't know. There is a character, and I probably have to look this up, that can walk in the sun, and I thought it was Armand because his maker was really super powerful.
Isn't that Marius, or was that
Magnus?
Magnus. I can't, because there's a Marius as well.
Yeah,
Magnus. I always get those confused because it's been decades since.
I had to look this
literally before I saw the 1994 interview of the vampires when I read all the books.
Yeah, I didn't remember all this. I had to look it up, but I think because Armand is a stronger vampire than Lestat, and Lestat's a pretty strong vampire because his maker was really strong.
Yeah, and he's been around for a long time. Stole many man's soul and face.
Yes, but Armand is definitely, out of all of them, the most powerful. But they're all very wealthy.
Yeah, well, they've had time to amass those fortunes.
Plus, when you're a vampire, you can do whatever you want. You can make people give you money. I mean, you just
glamour them.
Glamour them, yes.
Another fancy word they use for hypnotize. Not in the show.
No,
but that's
a vampire word.
But yeah, I'm very impressed with what the show does, and I really look forward to watching it every week.
I do too. And if you're questioning whether or not you should watch it, of course you should watch season 1 and 2 first. But then season 3, the tone changes, which is really cool. Like even the opening credits.
I love the opening credits.
Yeah, I do too. And it's so flashy and it's so rock and rolly because Lestat is a rock star now. And well, not a star yet, but kind of.
Yeah.
And Sam Reed doing his own vocals. Like you hear Lestat singing at the opening credits, and it sounds like the character as Lestat. Right. Which is, it's even better. Like how they found an actor that could also carry. It's going to be tough because
these performances is going to be tough for me to see them in anything else because they're so good in this show. I think more Sam Reed than Jacob Anderson, because we've seen Jacob Anderson already, but Sam Reed I've never seen him in anything.
But Jacob Anderson, I don't know, the poor guy could be like 75 years old, and in a movie I'm still going to call him Grey Worm. So maybe
he'll always be Grey Worm.
He'll always be Grey Worm to me because again, that was one of my favorite shows of all time. And then
up till like halfway through the last season, and then just.
But Sam Reed, I'm in awe of him. He's just, his talent is amazing.
Well, and I know it's going to turn some people off because they do. It's more explicit in the show. Their homosexuality. Yes.
But vampires aren't. They're sexual beings.
They're not
hetero or homosexual.
Exactly.
They're just
fluid, just exist.
They have sex with who they find attractive, and they love who they love. For right now, with the way the world is, it's very the way people are and the way it should be. Fall in love with who you fall in love with, and I like that of it.
Yeah, and I'm glad that they aren't afraid. And in fact, that pushes the envelope a lot further than either the book or the movie.
Yes,
which I'm fine with it because it lends more dimensions to their characters.
But in the book, in an interview with a vampire, didn't Lestat and Louis sleep in the same coffin?
They did, but it didn't really go as explicit as it does in
She went pretty close.
She did, but not. Believe me, it's not anywhere near. I don't, as I recall, as much as they go through in the show because again, it's updated. So I think the audience now is a little bit more. Well, you want to say they're a little bit more adult.
Well, yeah,
but there are some that aren't.
There are themes that people can accept more now.
Yes, they were more widely accepted. Let's just put it that way. But even people who really don't care for that, don't let it deter you because it's a great show. It's a really well written show.
But that's not the only part that's kind of pushing the envelope. If you think about it, there's also another issue that comes up.
What's that?
I can't think of the word. Mom and son.
Oh, the incest.
Incest. Yes,
well, that's in Vampire Lestat. Yeah, and they're just starting to touch on that.
Was that in the book?
I believe it was, but again, I don't know to that extent. I can't say
if he, because that's interesting dichotomy, him and his mother.
That is, and I looked up the actress because I'm like, boy, she looks familiar, but she's actually Rosemary Harris's daughter, and you may know Rosemary Harris as she was, I believe, Aunt May in the first set of Spider-Man films with Tobey Maguire.
I can't remember that.
When I saw that was her mother, I go, oh yeah, of course she played Aunt May. I want to say it's Tobey Maguire's, his trilogy, but
Jennifer.
Is it L or L?
EHLE. I could not pronounce that one.
Yeah, she's very good in it. I told you she reminds me of Mary McConnell a little bit. The face wise, she really does, and she has that kind of just look about her.
I like how she portrays the character, though. It's really cool.
Yeah, and like I said, I didn't remember a lot about that, and I kind of don't want to read about it because I want to be surprised all over again.
Yeah, but now I want to read the books again.
At least the first two. After that, Queen of the Damned, and again, they could. I just want to see if they want to go further with this, because you can expand it. There's absolutely a lot you can do to a room full of talented writers as they have on this show. Yeah, they're using source material, but they are going a lot further than what Anne Rice
There's so much that the characters do that have nothing to do with the book. Like Louis right now, like he has nothing really to do with Vampire Lestat in the book, and now he's not. Definitely the first two seasons really focused more on Louis, which so does the book, but then this season is all Lestat. I mean, Jacob Anderson does come into play, and they do show him, and I really like what they do with him. But that's all creative. That has nothing to do with anything.
And they do drop a lot about the Talamasca. Well, here and there, a couple things in references which we didn't watch.
I didn't know it really had any relationship.
It kind of does, like I guess a larger universe type of thing, but maybe now we'll have to go back and watch it. There is vampires in it, and other, more of like supernatural. I think it's more of like they track down these supernatural beings, but again, I don't know much about it.
Vampires are the coolest ones, though. Like my favorite things have always been vampires. Like True Blood, I loved. That was vampires. Like vampires just have that. I don't know.
True Blood had a great premise, and it had like one good season towards the end, but I didn't really care for the show that much. I thought it was a little over the top and goofy.
No, I looked.
So. I mean, that's one of those shows where, it's like, well, they have to make everybody some kind of creature where, like the superhero shows. Everyone has to have a power by season 5.
Well,
I don't want anybody to have a power. But I get it, but this is good writing at least. So
right, it is very good writing.
Yeah.
And amazing acting. So I very highly recommended. And I would like to read the books again. And I probably, after this season, after we're done, I might want to watch all 3 again.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind doing
right away, but just to kind of get everything in again.
Because it's because I do forget a little bit about, because it's sometimes a year before. Right. Well, it is before the next season comes on, but at least we don't have to wait. We haven't had to wait that long for 3 seasons. I mean, sometimes you look at some of these shows. It's 5 years later, here comes season 2. I'm like, I don't remember anything about it. But yeah, I would definitely highly recommend it. And this is the first foray we've made into still scenes from the screen. And we said big and small, and this one covers big and small. So in the future, I think we're going to we'll do a couple more small screen ones.
Do you like to compare and contrast things, like either in the same genre or the same characters, or like the same story done 2 different ways and 2 different visions for it? I think is kind of neat.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, when we can also do, we did the book, the movie, and the TV series in this one. And sometimes it's like they do with Stephen King. We'll compare all of his movies to his writing, and sometimes it's a little bit different. You take licenses. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But this definitely works.
This is working.
Yeah.
Just the
I mean, it's not an exit to Eden. You remember that? And the book was great.
The book was awesome.
And then you made that movie with Rosie O'Donnell and like bumbling cops, and it had nothing to do with that.
2 characters were from the book, and that's it.
Yeah, and they weren't even focused on that much.
But everything else was so terrible.
It was a little bit too racy. I don't know why they decided.
Why would you do that, Anna?
I don't understand.
That's like trying to do one of the beauty books. You can't do any of this.
No, you would. I mean, you would be able to do it now. I think on a. I think on maybe on like I'm not saying Paramount, Showtime. Maybe a Showtime, maybe an HBO.
To try not to get an NC-17 on that would almost be impossible.
But
so if you like reading, Anne Rice, prior to her going religious, when she wrote these very sexual horror, real creative characters, her writing, I'm a slow reader, and I could read through her stuff so fast. And I was so invested in the characters too. The beauty books were amazing.
I think I read one or how many? I know I read 1. Oh, yeah, I can't remember.
I read them all. I know that.
And not that they weren't good. I just, for some reason, you kind of, you get away from things, you forget about it. But yeah, I mean, I was really into a lot of Anne Rice back then. And since it's tough even to read anymore, to find time.
Yeah, but her stories and her characters are very well developed.
Yes, I agree.
In her books. So if you could take an Anne Rice and run with it.
So the movie, Interview with the Vampire in 1994, are you glued to the set when it comes on? Are you scrolling and maybe taking a peek?
Because I've seen it a few times now, I would probably leave it on and scroll a little bit at the same time.
I would.
Only because Brad Pitt is one of my favorites. He's on my list. And to see him so young, he's just so freaking cute. He's so young. And it's one of those movies that I will leave on. For Christian Slater too, because that's my 80s. That's my 80s guy.
And definitely the show, because we already talked about rewatching it. So the show is definitely rewatchable. That would take a lot more effort, but I mean, it does suck you in. It's that good of a show.
The movie did. Watching it again, they did. The characters weren't as well developed as what we know of them. So if you're really into wanting to watch this, I would recommend watching the TV show, just because the development of the characters, and you have more time, and they have more time, obviously.
And that's what I do like about it. Yeah, sometimes a TV show lends itself to books because you have more time to develop the character.
Although Stephen Ray is great, but then we never said who else was in this one. Who plays Stephen Ray's character in the TV show?
Who does play
Ben Daniels?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, Ben Daniels. Oh, from The Exorcist.
Yes.
TV series, which is another we're going to talk about that at some point in the future because we're not going to let that slide by.
Yeah, his name I can remember. Don't ask me why.
Yeah, and he played Judas in Jesus Christ Superstar.
Yes,
on when they showed it on TV. All right, so that is about all we have for today. Thank you for being here again.
You're welcome. Highly recommend watch Interview with Vampire. Watch anything Sam Reed is in.
Yes,
I agree. Jacob Anderson.
I agree. All right. Well, we'll be back soon with something.
Maybe.
You
have to start paying me.
I will.
Okay.
That wraps up another episode, so make sure you hit like, subscribe, download, whatever it takes to be the first to know when new episodes become available on your favorite podcast platform. For Scenes from the Screen, I'm Sean, and thanks for listening.